Welcome back to Attack on Cowboys, your home for everything Dallas Cowboys, where we bring you the breaking news, roster battles, insider info, and rumors that will have every true Cowboys fan glued to their screens. We've got a huge development to talk about today, one that's shaking up the wide receiver room in Dallas in ways that could impact the offense in a major way going into the 2025 NFL season. The wide receiver room has gone through a dramatic transformation this offseason, and now, a Super Bowl champion with world-class speed is on the verge of being shown the door before ever playing a down in a Cowboys uniform. We're talking about none other than veteran receiver Parris Campbell, who just months ago was brought in with hope and optimism, but now faces an uphill battle just to make the 53-man roster. And trust me, the implications go far beyond just one player. This decision says a lot about how the Cowboys are shaping their identity moving forward, and what they expect from their offense in 2025. So let's dive deep into this developing story, unpack what it means for the team, and explore how Dallas got here. It all started earlier this offseason when the Cowboys made a bold move to address what was arguably their biggest weakness on offense last year, the lack of a true complement to CeeDee Lamb in the wide receiver core. Sure, Brandon Cooks brought veteran savvy and occasional flashes of big play potential, but the consistency just wasn't there. The team knew it had to do something drastic, and that's exactly what they did when they pulled the trigger on a trade to acquire George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers. This was no small trade. It was the kind of move that signaled to the rest of the NFL that Dallas wasn't playing around anymore. They wanted explosive, young, and hungry talent on the outside, someone who could win jump balls, stretch the field, and give Dak Prescott another legitimate weapon in the passing game. In Pickens, they got all of that and more. The impact of that trade sent shockwaves throughout Cowboys Nation, and suddenly, the entire pecking order at wide receiver was thrown into chaos. With Pickens immediately projected to start opposite CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys essentially locked up their top two receiver spots right then and there. But beyond that, things get very interesting. According to early 53-man roster projections from Athlon Sports' Mike Fisher, Jalen Tolbert, a player who has been quietly working his way up the depth chart over the past couple of seasons, has emerged as the favorite to land the WR3 role. That's a big vote of confidence in a young receiver who hasn't seen consistent snaps but has impressed coaches behind the scenes. With Tolbert rising, the Cowboys have to make some very tough decisions about who fills out the rest of the wide receiver room. In Fisher's projection, that means Jonathan Mingo, another intriguing young talent, and KaVontae Turpin, the do-it-all special teams ace with game-changing speed, round out the final two wide receiver spots on the 53-man roster. And here's where it gets brutal, because when you do the math, that leaves Parris Campbell on the outside looking in. Yes, the same Parris Campbell who signed with Dallas earlier this year on a one-year, $1.3 million deal in free agency. Now, to be fair, that contract came with no guarantees. It was a classic low-risk, high-reward signing by the Cowboys, something they've done with mixed results in the past. Campbell brought with him a reputation as a blazing fast receiver who could stretch the field, take the top off a defense, and even contribute on gadget plays. He's a guy who once ran a blistering 4.31-second 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine in 2019. On paper, it made sense. The Cowboys needed speed, and Campbell was available at a bargain price. But the NFL isn't played on paper, and training camp doesn't care about past accolades. Campbell's recent NFL journey is one filled with both promise and frustration. Last season, he was part of the Philadelphia Eagles roster that made a deep playoff run and ultimately captured a Super Bowl title. That sounds great, right? But when you look closer, Campbell's role on that team was minimal at best. He appeared in just 5 regular season games, catching 6 passes for a grand total of 30 yards and 1 touchdown. He also suited up for 3 playoff games, but again, his impact was limited. The bottom line is that Campbell has been unable to consistently carve out a meaningful role in any offense since entering the league. Whether due to injuries, lack of chemistry, or system fit, the production simply hasn't matched the potential that once made him a second-round pick. Now, the clock is ticking fast for Campbell in Dallas. When training camp opens, he'll be fighting for his NFL life. Every rep, every route, and every special teams snap will count. And he won't be fighting against just rookies or journeymen, he'll be battling guys like Tolbert, Mingo, and Turpin, all of whom are younger, cheaper, and in some cases, more versatile. Let's not forget Turpin's value on special teams, where he's been a game changer on punt and kick returns. That versatility is what makes it so hard for a guy like Campbell to crack the roster. Unless he shows something truly spectacular in camp, something that forces the coaching staff to make room for him, his days in Dallas could be over before they ever really began. And don't think the Cowboys coaching staff is unaware of how high the stakes are here. Mike McCarthy and his offensive assistants are under immense pressure this season. After another disappointing playoff exit, there's a clear mandate to get more production out of the offense, especially in the passing game. That's why the Pickens trade was so important. It wasn't just about getting another receiver, it was about reshaping the identity of the offense. CeeDee Lamb remains the centerpiece, of course, but now, with Pickens lined up on the opposite side, defenses will have to pick their poison. And that opens up opportunities for everyone else in the offense, from tight ends to running backs to slot receivers. Speaking of Pickens, his arrival in Dallas has already made waves in the locker room. From CeeDee Lamb to Dak Prescott, the excitement about what Pickens can bring to the offense is palpable. Lamb, speaking to ESPN's Todd Archer, couldn't stop raving about Pickens' ability to win contested catches and make plays down the field. "Man, we complement each other very well," Lamb said. "Obviously, he's a tall figure. His ability to go up and get the ball at the highest point is amazing. I don't think anybody in the league can really. He's up there with the guys in the league as far as 50/50 balls, deep threat. Anything as far as running routes, it's pretty good. It's good to see. That's high praise from a player who himself is one of the league's elite receivers. When Lamb talks like that, you know it's real." And Dak Prescott echoed those sentiments during a radio appearance with The Ticket, a popular sports talk station in Dallas. Prescott was candid about the state of the receiver room before Pickens arrived, admitting the team needed some help in that position. Now, with Pickens in the mix, Dak is fired up. "I'm excited," Prescott said. "You turn on the tape and you see a guy that can catch the football. You put the football anywhere in his vicinity, very strong hands, more than a 50/50 catcher, he thinks it's his ball when it's in the air. I'm excited for him." Those comments tell you everything you need to know. Prescott believes in Pickens, and that belief could translate into on-field chemistry very quickly. So where does that leave Parris Campbell? In a word, desperate. He'll need to have the camp of his life just to stay in the conversation. And even then, he may be relying on injuries or roster shakeups to secure a spot. The Cowboys simply have too many mouths to feed and not enough chairs when the music stops. Every year, training camp produces surprise cuts, and this year, Campbell is shaping up to be one of them. It's a harsh reality, especially for a veteran with a Super Bowl ring and world-class speed. But in the NFL, it's all about what you can do for me now, not what you've done in the past. What's fascinating about this situation is how it reflects the Cowboys' larger strategy this offseason. They didn't just want to tweak the offense, they wanted to blow it up and rebuild it with explosive, high-ceiling talent. George Pickens is the poster child for that strategy. But it also means that players like Campbell, who once may have been seen as valuable depth, are now expendable. The bar has been raised, and if you can't clear it, you're out. That's the brutal truth in Dallas right now. So Cowboys Nation, buckle up. Training camp is going to be a war zone for roster spots, and the wide receiver battle will be one of the most intense storylines to watch. Will Parris Campbell defy the odds and make the roster? Or will the Cowboys move on from a player who, despite all his physical gifts, simply couldn't find a role in this new-look offense. Time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the Dallas Cowboys aren't playing around this year. They're making bold moves, taking risks, and reshaping the roster with one goal in mind: winning now. And if you can't contribute to that mission, no matter who you are, you're not safe. Thanks for watching Attack on Cowboys. If you love Cowboys news, rumors, trade talk, and inside scoops, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a video. We've got more heat coming your way every day, and you don't want to miss what's next as the Cowboys off-season drama unfolds.